What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, the best matchmaker on YouTube is back, and we are going to be matchmaking 15 fights that the UFC needs to add to several of these upcoming cards just to complete some of these cards, because you know Dana White cooked. He dropped 320, he dropped 321. We're looking set for October in terms of the pay-per-views, but there's still a bunch of fight nights, there's still a bunch of other fights that need to be made to just make sure that this isn't a really top-heavy card, to make sure we're not just getting one-hit wonders with the main events, etc. So yeah, 15 fights spread across a bunch of different cards. Sorry, I will not be matchmaking for UFC Apex 108 on August 9th. That card's beyond saving, bro. You've got Myra Bueno Silva in the feature fight. So I don't know what we're doing with that. But regardless, yeah, the cards, I'm starting at 319. I don't have anything for China, spoiler. And then from there on, we're adding at least one or two fights to every other card. Anyway, let's get into the video. This is not going to be like a full card matchmaking every fucking card. And this is not going to go beyond UFC 321 as well, because I'm only matchmaking for cards that already have something on there. So it's like, I'm not building a card from scratch, because I would yap for way too long if I was matchmaking like 10 fights for each card. So we're just doing little bits and pieces, and the UFC can do the rest. We're just matchmaking the key fights that need to be on these cards. Anyway, let's get into it and start off at UFC 319. So, this one, whether it's a fight that should be made or not, I'm not being very creative here, but this card is just on such short notice, like it's not even a month away. We're not going to be able to add like a brand new fight from scratch, I should say. So if the UFC just does a major letdown, and I love CP as much as the next person, let me tell you, but if they put CP in the co-main event, or if they put fucking Michael Venom Page in the co-main event, like, that is not going to slide. So this card needs one more fight. It's like the difference between 319 being really good and just mid as hell is literally just this as the co-main. Like, this is not even, like, the best fight ever, but it's just, like, a good, intriguing co-main event that actually doesn't feel like a stretch to put in the co-main. Like, I'm okay with CP in the feature fight. I don't know if you can justify a CP co-main event pay-per-view spot in 2025, like, coming off the Gary loss. If this was him coming off the Gary win, and it was him versus, like, fucking Shafkat or some shit, no complaints. If this is like him versus like Leon Edwards, no complaints. I don't know if Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates is a pay-per-view co-main event. Like, that's a stretch to be a fight night main event if we're trying to do stacked cards. So Movzar Pico co-main 319. There's rumors, but it's not been officially announced, because on the 318 broadcast they did put it up as a TBD versus TBD co-main. But I'm also getting rumors, that the two tough finale fights are going to be on 319 as well. So if you add those two, we have 13 fights on this card. So feel like 14 is usually the max. So we got one more. UFC, you better not fuck up, or Dana will be having a word. Anyway, let's move on. UFC Paris, bonjour, je m'appelle. At this point, I would say BSD vs Joel Alvarez, rebook that, because that'd be sick. And if we're trying to make a fun fight, I would venture outside the rankings. But it's like right now, it just kind of doesn't feel like they can go any other direction, because, like, I don't know if you're getting Beneil Dariush to take the fight on that short of a notice. I don't know if you're getting, like, Moicano. Oh no, he fought Moicano, never mind. Joel Alvarez seems to be wanting to move up to welterweight. I don't think you're going to do Michael Chandler on this short notice in Paris. I feel like they still want to do Chandler versus Rufy, which I'll talk about in a bit. So at this point, BSD, and apparently Gamrot said that it's not the fight. So before anyone in the comments says, what about Gamrot? Gamrot just said they're not fighting. Maybe that's just him baiting and it is the Gamrot fight. But assuming it's not BSD Gamrot, I don't think there's anyone else, because I don't think they're going to give him like Fiziev or Dan Hooker or anything like that. So, yeah, it feels like this is the fight. Obviously, they're not going to do Ziam, plus he's already booked. It doesn't feel like a Bahamondes fight would kind of make any sense, especially as it's a pretty quick turnaround for Bahamondes. Like, seems like this will be the fight, because BSD is definitely going to be on that Paris card. And the main event is very good. But right now, that card needs a bit of work. Now, if we're adding other fights to that card as well, you're looking at probably like I'm thinking like a low scene Keta off the regional scene. Get him on there. He's really good. He's not French. He's from like Belgium or something. Realistically, he's black, so he's not actually from there. But you know, trains out of there, I guess you could say. A Morgan Charrier fight would do well on that card. Like you can get some other guys on the card, but right now that card's pretty. It's not grim, but it's just like mid. But if we got, like, it's got Gustafsson versus Renat on there. Like, it's got some solid fights, but it definitely needs another ranked fight. And then, yeah, it needs a little bit of other, like, exciting matchups. Anyway, let's move on. UFC Noche. This card is so ass. Like, this shit needs help. Like, if I'm doing exactly what I want to do, I'm saying, fuck off with all these bums that you've got on the card. Get Jose Medino versus fucking, what's the kid's name? Dusko Todorovic. Get that shit off this card. What are we doing? Can we matchmake some good fights? Like, they've fucking got, like, I think they've just announced, like, David Martinez versus Carlos Vera. Like, can we get, if we're gonna get some of these cool Mexicans on there, they're not even cool, like, these mid-ass, like, decent Mexican prospects, can we, like, at least, like, do it against some fun opponents? Like, maybe they're waiting for the last few, and we're going to drop a big, like, last 4 fights. But, like, this shit's got, like, 10 fights on there. What are we doing? Like, at this point, the second best fight on the card, ranked value-wise, is fucking Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Lemos. And that's apparently been announced as the feature fight. Like, we're unbelievably cooked. That card is so shit. I think they just, as soon as they realized it wasn't actually going to be in Mexico, they're like, oh, Texas? Who cares? Just fucking bum-ass random card. I think that's where it is, yeah. It's San Antonio, Texas, yeah. Like, Suarez, Lemos, there's 9 fights on there right now, and I don't think they've added Vera versus Martinez. I'll read you the card right now, bro. Montserrat Hendon versus Alice Pereira. Jesus Aguilar versus Luis Gurule. Jose Medina versus Dusko Todorovic. Rafa Garcia, Jared Gordon. Edgar Chavez, Alessandro Costa is actually decent. Claudio Puelles is still signed. He's fighting Joaquim Silva. Raquel Pennington, Norma Jamont, fucking Tatiana Suarez, Amanda Lemos. We got 3 women's MMA fights on the card, and then obviously the main event. We need, like, major help. So this needs, like, a bunch of other good fights, but there's no room. Like, there's already 10 fights on there. So we got max 4. Apparently they're going to get Raul on there. So that's 3. That leaves 3 more. You got to do Moreno on there. Like, it's either Royval or it's Kyoji. It's one of those two. Either one of those in the co-main would be very good, and then I'll talk about these other fights that need to be on there in just a second. But seriously, this card needs major help, because, like, right now, this is not cutting it. Like, if any of these other fights, except for, like, I'll accept Suarez Lemos on the main card of a fight night. Nothing else I just listed. Pennington is not a... Raquel Pennington, I don't care, she just won a belt, like, a year ago. She's not a fucking main card fight, like... The only other one I could accept maybe is like Shiras Costa, and that's like iffy. That's like low quality. Anyway, let's move on. So clearly they don't actually care about ranked fights on the card. I was gonna say Leon Edwards, Michael Morales. Clearly they're not gonna fucking do that. Because they're gonna put. I have faith that at least we'll get a Moreno co-main. And you're not putting a Leon Edwards, Michael Morales fight below Suarez Lemos. So like, I've given up that we're going to get anything, like, really good, and we're kind of working with the worst case scenario at this point. But this is a sick fight. Let me talk about this kid, Jose Delgado. Delgado versus Chepe Mariscal is a banger. It fits the region, I guess. Like, it fits the brand of the card. It's dumb as fuck, because we're celebrating Mexico in, I guess, Texas. I guess that's where they all jump the border to, so it makes sense, you know. But... You know, I honestly, just for entertainment purposes, let's just get, like, a early prelims, like, just, we'll match up a bunch of guys that have just crossed the border, they've just been caught by ice, and just, like, match them up, winner stays, loser goes back across the fence, like, that'd be content, like, I'd watch that shit. Prediction and breakdown for those fights, like, that'd be elite. But Delgado Chepe would definitely be a start. We need more, which I'll talk about, but it'd be a start to actually making this card solid. So next up, Manuel Torres versus Nasrat Hakparas. This is a banger, and I know bangers. Now the fight I've been wanting for so long is Ribovic versus Torres. The UFC decided they wanted to kill their fucking company and just put Ribovic in the apex with Vallejos. Like, I'm hitting myself in the head. I'm like that sped kid in class that's just fucking attacking themselves. Like, bro, this is actually angering me. It's giving me brain damage, bro. Like, Ribovic, Apex. Vallejos, Apex. Bakoev, Apex. Fucking, who else? They had someone else in the Apex as well that's good fun. Like, what are we doing? Like, Murtaz Rebecki, Apex. He could have been literally on the Paris card. Like, what the fuck? A month later. What are we doing? Just, we accept that Apex cards are going to be ass. Stop trying to impress us with, like, decent Apex cards and just put all the fun fighters in arenas in front of crowds. Like, what are we doing? Like, this card could have been so much better. We could have had a Vallejos Danny Silva on this card instead, and then fucking chuck bum-ass Dusko Todorovic on that Apex card. No one's going to complain. No one's going to look at that Apex card and be like, damn, bro, we missed out on Vallejos. Because if it's a month later in front of a crowd on a Noche fucking fight night, everyone's going to be like, yeah, that makes way more sense. So, like, what this should have been is get fucking Raquel Pennington, Norma Jamont in the Apex. Get that out of the arena. No one's trying to see that. The jiggle physics will be just the same in the Apex or in front of a crowd. It won't matter. The fight gains nothing. So what we do is we do Ribovic Brenner. I would have rather Ribovic Torres, but it's okay. If we're sticking with the matchups that were made, we just put Ribovic Brenner. It doesn't matter. None of them are Mexican. I'm sure the Mexicans won't mind. You've got fucking Medino versus Todorovic. That's a Bolivian versus a fucking Serbian or some shit, bro. Like, they clearly don't care about actual Mexican fighters being matched up. So, like, you could have done that. So, Ribovic Brenner and then Vallejos Danny Silva on that card. And then take off Todorovic and take off Raquel Pennington. No one would have complained. Absolutely nobody would have complained, and this card would look so much better. But Torres versus Haqparast, we'll go with what we have. Daniel Huber just lost. I don't even know if he's going to be on the card, or at this point I don't even want to see him on the card after that fucking disgrace of a performance. But yeah, it's just like critical thinking decisions. Like, I want to know who's in the war room being like, yeah, let's like low-key stack this like banger Apex card that no one's going to fucking watch, instead of like distributing all these fights to good locations. Like, Rebecki fight. Rebecki Duncan could have easily, like, Poland versus Scotland could have easily fucking been on the Paris card, and that card is all of a sudden way better. And then we could have taken those two fights I just mentioned, put them on the Mexico card. Again, we can take one of these bum-ass fights off the Paris card that doesn't need to be there. Like, again, I like the fight. You could I genuinely wouldn't mind putting Renat Gustafsson in the Apex. Like, that fight doesn't gain a lot. Like, it's cool. I'm not saying that's the fight I would choose. What's actually on that Paris card? Let me check. Because I'm sure there's something else. Like, there's some random bum fight that no one's going to care about. But let me have a look. Let's just figure this out. Like, Modest, no, that can be on in the Paris card. Like, let me think. Shauna Bannon, Sam Hughes. We could have taken two fights. Or like Sam Patterson, Trey Waters. That's an Apexy ass fight. Get Sam Patterson, Trey Waters if we have to keep the women's fights on there for DEI. You know, keep them on there. Sam Patterson, Trey Waters, put that in the Apex. Transfer Rebecki Duncan over here. Way better. Works out way better. Card looks way better. Do the same thing with Noche. But no. Critical decision making just doesn't fucking exist for this company. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, UFC Perth. We obviously got no card the week after Noche, because the UFC really needs to just give us a week to just, you know, process and reflect on the generational card that will be UFC Noche with a fucking Dusko Todorovic featured prelim. Badass fight, kid. But they're going to Perth. They're going to my home country. 2 weeks after that, I'll see if I can even make it to this card. The tickets are probably going to be starting at $600 for a fucking Steve Erceg versus Niam Jargal Tuna and Dumbrell main event. Like, this is the shit they're pumping out. But if they're smart, Dan Hooker versus Rafael Fiziev is like a perfect main event. Fiziev's kind of got ties to the region. He's familiar with the Volk CKB crew, I guess, because he trains at Tiger Muay Thai. He's fought Brad Riddell. He trains with Brad Riddell, I think, as well. They're all familiar. People will like Fiziev. Fiziev's, like, he's not, like, big over here, but, like, people know of him. Because a lot of the guys in Australia who even train in Thailand are kind of familiar with Fiziev. You know, he's part of the region. It's the same reason why they fucking put Loma Lookboom on that 284 card a couple years ago against fucking Elise Reed. There's a pool that no one else is chucking out on YouTube. This is why you subscribe to me, because like no one else is remembering Loma Lookboom versus Elise Reed from UFC 284 prelims. Like, I just get these random ass pulls. I have to double check that just to check myself, just to make sure that's true. I should have just said it with confidence and no one would have even pulled me up on that. But Loma Lookboom, I just want to check just to prove that I'm a fucking genius and that my UFC knowledge is unmatched in this space. Because Casualo 1 of 1 and fucking Casualo MMA are not, let me check. Elise Reed, yeah, it was, exactly. So, again, none of these bums are putting out that knowledge. But, just a bit of self-glaze there. But what am I even talking about? Yeah, Dan Hooker, Rafael Fiziev, this is a perfect main event. People are saying Olberg Reyes. I got a different card for that you guys will kind of think about in a second. But you want to bang a card. You want to bang a main event, especially. Australia is known for actual, like, good, fun martial artists. Canada, not so much. So you give Canada the mid, and then you give Australia the good, and that's what we do here. Anyway, though, let's move on. Next up, Kai Kara France versus Manel Cape. I think this is a perfect co-main. If we can't get Cap on there, I guess you could do Kai versus Kyoji. This is my thing. Like, if we can't do Moreno Royval, we do Moreno Kyoji. And then, for some reason, if Royval was, like, not able to fight on Noche, but able to fight here, you could do a rematch with Kai and Royval. Or you could even rebook the Royval Cap fight. Or you could do Kai Cap. But you just need a good co-main. Like, we need... Can it be a normalized and requirement, like, thing to have 2 ranked fighters in the main event and 2 ranked fighters in the co-main event on arena fight nights? That shouldn't be that hard. Like, that should be a pretty easy standard to uphold, in my opinion. Anyway, though, let's move on. Next up, we move to 320. Now, 320 is looking like a fucking generational card. So how about we just make this shit even more generational? Leon Edwards, Michael Morales, get on here. Now, this could also go on the Brazil card, and if the Brazil card looks to be struggling, and we can't actually get a Brazilian in the main event, I don't know how keen Leon's going to be to go fight in Brazil. Bruv, I was sleepy, bruv. Bruv, I got drugged by a fruit vendor, bruv. But if the Brazil card, for some reason, we can't get like a roofie main event, because now we got no Almeida on that card, so I don't know who the fuck we're main eventing on Brazil. It's got to be the 2 options that I'm going to talk about in a moment. But 320, let's just make this shit like the best card of the year. Let's just make this a fucking banger. Leon Edwards Morales has a chance of being really mid if Leon wins, but still, name value. People will get excited. This card's going to draw eyes. We got another fight, though. Don't you worry. Hey, you thought the first time was so nice? We had to do it twice. Hey, Sean Brady, Ian Gary, there's a fight to make. Now, if we want to slow down the division and delay this shit, like, I guess you can put it on the MSG card on the same card as Islam, JDM, because, like, I've been spreading the message that we need to make it a common thing to be putting, like, top 5, top 10 fights in that division on the same card when the belt's on the line. But, like, at that point, it's kind of like, who cares? Like, Islam, JDM, you don't need, like, that card, by the way, just letting you know, that MSG card is going to be mid as hell. Like, the MSG cards are, like, very mid a lot of the time. Like, the last few have been, like, mid. The ones before that, like, they've been fun in, like, 295 was fun in execution. Name value-wise, it was mid. Like, apart from, like, the main and co-main was sick, but, like, it ended up being fun in execution, but, like, BSD Frivola, that was not a ranked fight. Frivola might have been, like, number 14. Lopez Sabatini was not ranked. Like, it was just prospect maxing. And then, like, I think Andrade Dern was on that main card. I reckon I can recite that whole card off the top of my head. I'll do it right now. Main event, obviously, Yuri Alex. Co-main, Aspinall Pavlovich. Feature fight, Frivola, BSD. Fight before that was, Lopez Sabatini. Fight before that, actually, it might have, I forget which one opens the main card. Might have been Lopez Sabatini opened the main card, or BSD, but regardless, the main card, and then it was Dern Andrade. Prelim, headliner, Urseg versus Alessandro Costa. Fight before that, Lupi Godinez versus Tabitha Ricci. Fight before that, I believe, was Mateusz Rebecki versus Roosevelt Roberts. I believe the opening prelim was Sadikov versus the kid's name is Vyacheslav Borshev. And then I believe the prelims, we had Van versus Borjas. We had Jamal Emmers versus Dennis Bazooka. We also had a few other fights that are going to escape me now. I'm losing out on these early prelims. My bad. But regardless, you know, I'm just got to flex the knowledge, you know. Anyone else, if you can remember an entire card that happened 3 years ago off by Hartley, you know, let me know. Or 2 years ago, whatever. But, anyway, the MSG cards recently, like, last year's was mid as hell. Which I can definitely recite that one. Fucking, like, we had Bot Nickel on as the featured fight of the card. Like, the shit was ass. I just have to check 295 just to fucking... UFC 295. This is my autism, bro. This is my UFC autism. What was the... Okay, so Andrade... My bad. Andrade Dern was the feature fight. I had faith. I had more faith in the UFC in terms of card order. But I was correct, by the way, with the prelims. Early prelims, what did I miss? I reckon I missed the Jared Gordon. I missed Jared Gordon versus Mark Madsen, where Jared Gordon randomly developed KO power. And then I missed Castaneda versus Kang Kyung Ho. So those were the 2 fights that I forgot. My bad. But, of course I forgot about Jared Gordon randomly having one-shot KO power. But, like, last year's MSG was mid as hell. So, there's a chance, like, this year's is decent. But I think they just kind of say, nah, like, fuck it, we're just letting Islam main on his own and he'll just carry it. Like, it'll probably be like an Islam main event with like a fucking Colby Covington co-main, bro. Like, this shit's gonna be mid. But it'll probably have like a Whaley Shevchenko co-main. I don't even know what I'm yapping about. Anyway, this fight's on, this is why I can't keep my videos under like 30 minutes. But this is why we get this fight on 320. Good fight, badass fight, kid. And then you can kind of have like a 2-way, like, obviously the winner of Leon versus Morales isn't going to get a title shot. Like, Brady versus Gary would be a pretty clear title, like winner gets the title shot, because Gary's been yapping like he deserves it off one win. The only guy in this equation that's like missing is Shavkat, just because it kind of seems like either he's just injured all the time, and he's got the fucking immune system of Hamzat Chimaev. He's got the immune system of like an aging grandma. Like, this dude's just getting sick from everything, getting injured everywhere. So yeah, I don't know what Shavkat's doing. Maybe do him versus fucking Buckley or something. Buckley just lost, so it kind of doesn't make sense. Anyway though, let's move on. Let's move on to Brazil. UFC Rio de Janeiro. Anyway, what's the main event for this? Like, it kind of has to be Mauricio Rufy at this point. I'm really worried that the UFC is going to put Rufy on 320 and just leave us with, like, a fucking WMMA main event. Or, like, God love him, but, like, Gilbert Burns main event, bro. Like, Gilbert Burns should definitely be on this card. He should absolutely not be the main event. Like, we're getting a Volta Walker fucking feature fight on this shit, and you're going to like it, kid, let me tell you. But this just feels like the fight that they're going to make. It's kind of just about which card. Like, I'm not breaking any news here telling you that, like, Chandler Rufy's, like, been a fucking rumor for, like, months. So we'll see if it ends up getting made, hopefully for Brazil, because... And I know I said we need to make, like, double ranked, like, 2 ranked fighters in the main event. When it's a fight like this and you're trying to showcase a guy in front of his home crowd, like a Rufy who has star power... I don't mind it, like, it's different, you know. But the ones I'm not talking about is when we do fucking Joe Pye for Jack Madsen as, like, a main event. Like, that's not acceptable. Or even though he technically was ranked, like Derek Lewis versus Taliesin Teixeira, like, that's just outrageous. Anyway, though, let's move on. We will be saving this card in the co-main event spot, and we will be the first to KO Chito Vera. Hey, don't shoot the messenger, look into it. I'm gonna just keep saying that about Vinicius Oliveira. Anytime someone's like, hey, this dude looks like shit when he fights, how do you think he's gonna, hey, look into it, kid. I'm telling you this guy's gonna be champion, and I'm telling you our title journey continues at UFC Rio when we sleep Chito Vera out cold. We would low-key just maraud Chito, though, not gonna lie. Like, who would you pick, let me know, Chito or Vinicius Oliveira? I'm taking Oliveira easy. Decision or just violent finish, you know. But definitely need to get some Brazil. Like, I'll talk about the Brazil card now just for a second. Like, in terms of fighters who are, like, reasonable to expect on this card. So I think Rufy's like a must. You kind of got to get him because all the other fighting nerds are booked. We got no Almeida, no Pereira, no Oliveira, no Figueiredo. So, like, Burns ain't. So you get Burns on the card. Burns versus, like, a D-Rod or a Chiesa or, like, a Jake Matthews, something like that. You can get a... Let me think. Because, like, You got to get Volta Walker on there. Let me tell you, Volta Walker. We got Petrino's already fighting on there. Denise versus fucking Mario Pinto's already on the card. If Buchecha wins this weekend, you could give him like a top 10 guy, I guess. Like, give him like a Spivak or something. I don't know. And then other than that, you're just kind of looking at like fun outside the rankings guys. Or like if Brenner somehow doesn't take a bunch of damage against Ribovic, which is like impossible. Like you take damage against Ribovic. Like let me say, if like Vallejos, even though I really want to see Vallejos on a pay-per-view because he deserves the spotlight, like if Vallejos wins dominantly next weekend, like I wouldn't mind seeing him get like a 320 spotlight, but also like if that card's just super stacked, he might not get the rub, so like maybe get him on a fight night. I know he's not from Brazil, but like same continent, it'll be close enough. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind them turning around Vallejos in a month just to save that Noche card. But like, who else is there? I'm definitely mind blanking on a bunch of guys, but you're just looking at all these fighters on these up and coming cards to like turn around. Like if Liao wins, you turn him around, I guess. Like shit like that. You just kind of got to turn all these guys around that are fighting already. Because like otherwise we're just going to end up with a bunch of bum fights and it's just going to be like mid. Anyway though, let's move on. Like if Prates KOs Jeff Neal, we could maybe do like a Prates Buckley on there, but that just doesn't seem like reasonable to expect. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, UFC Canada. Now, this is what I'm talking about because like as much as like I love Dominic Reyes, I have no care for Carlos Ulberg and I don't want to have to pay $600 to fly across the country because I live in Victoria, so I would be flying multiple, like I'd be flying a decent flight. Like, for you Europeans, it probably takes me the same time to get from Melbourne to Perth as it would for you to, like, cross Europe. Like, I don't know, let me know in the comments how long, most of my viewers from Europe are probably UK. Like, how long does a flight from, like, UK to, like, Poland take? If you were to fly. Like, I know you can just get trains, I'm pretty sure, but, like, UK to, like, Rome, how long would that take? Like, UK to fucking like Croatia or some shit. Like how long would an average flight take kind of from west to east across Europe? Because yeah, in Australia to Perth flight's like 4 or 5 hours ish, like 4.5. So yeah, anyway, or Melbourne to Perth I think I said. But anyway, this fight here, Canada, Carlos Ulberg versus Dominic Reyes, feels like a fight that they could make for this card because I really hope it's not the other way around too. Like, I really hope we don't get this as the Perth main and then Fiziev Hooker as the main. Because, like, bro, and I know you're going to say, neither of these guys are Canadian, bro. Canada has no good fighters. Canada has no talent in the ranked divisions in male MMA. And we're not doing... I know it just got announced. Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Manon Fiorot is not the main event of this shit, bro. We're not main eventing Mike Malott. Like, this card is probably going to be so ass. But seemingly the UFC really wants to put on decent cards for Canada. Like, I know the pay-per-views are usually mid. The fight nights they do are, like, somewhat okay. That's kind of a lie, actually. But, like, they're just obsessed. It's not like they put on good cards, but they're obsessed with going to Canada for no reason, even though they have no talent. So it's like, I don't know. Get this as the main. This fight was booked for UFC 297, and then it got cancelled completely. I think Reyes or Ulberg pulled out and they just didn't bother with a reply. UFC 297, by the way, my point exactly, UFC 297 had both Reyes Ulberg and Blachowicz Rakic both booked on that card. We ended up with neither. Because they just couldn't be fucked rebooking either of them. So, weird stuff there. But, anyway, let's move on. This will be a solid enough main event. Like, last Canada Fight Night main event was El Bazi versus Moreno. The one before that was fuck knows what. I don't even know. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Amian Zahabo versus Henry Cejudo. If they're not doing that rumoured Font versus Raul fight, you could also do Zahabi versus Font on this card as well. I'm just okay. Like, I kind of just want to get this Zahabi loss over with because clearly he's not good and clearly he's not top 5 caliber. So, like, the sooner we can just get this 38-year-old man to lose and then just get him out the rankings, the better. So, I don't even know if Cejudo would beat him at this point. Cejudo's fucking washed. So, I would feel pretty decent about Font beating him. But then again, could you not just see him, like, taking down and just smudging Font? So, we need to find someone who's going to beat this guy ASAP. He'll get a win in Canada, probably. Like, he's just not going to fight anyone good enough to beat him. Because, low-key, people be glazing Bantamweight. Bantamweight kind of sucks. Like, Cheeto Vera, Rob Font, and, like, Cejudo, like, 40 years old, being top 5, like, top 10 guys, sorry, is kind of embarrassing, in my opinion. Like, we could just kill two birds with one stone and just do Zahabo versus Bautista, and just get one of them to lose, guaranteed. That would be tremendous. But, seems unlikely, so... yeah, make this the co-main, and then who gives a fuck about the rest of the card? You get Mike Malott as the fucking featured fight. Anyway, let's move on. UFC 321 again. Let's just make these pay-per-views stacked in October. We got no pay-per-view in September. Let's get some stacked October pay-per-views. Co-main event. We're not going to get a title fight. I don't think. I'd be surprised. So, similar to last year where we had that Hamzat Whitaker, let's just get a big name fight in the co-main event. Bilal Muhammad, Kamaru Usman regionally. Makes sense enough. Bilal's fought there before. Usman's fought there before as well. Both of them familiar. Both of them, you know, ties to the region, I guess. Kamaru, not really, but yeah, I don't know. Who cares? You'll still find some random fucking Sands person that claims like Usman as their own, just because he's from within 5,000 kilometers of me. So yeah, we claim him. They'll fucking claim someone from, like, Turkey if you're not careful. Like, they'll claim a fucking Albanian if you're not careful, bro. If you're... no, they won't... They'll stop at Europe. Like, if you're from the fucking continent of Asia, like, west of fucking India, they'll claim you. Like, you cut a line up through India, like, just, like, in the middle of, like, Mongolia, on that part of Russia. Like, Russia, Kazakhstan, and everything below, besides India... they'll claim. They'll claim Afghanistan. They'll claim all the other stans. They'll claim fucking Syria. They'll claim Iran, Iraq, all that. And none of them actually represent them. But, regardless, it is what it is. And they'll probably claim anyone who's Muslim as well. Even if they're not even from the fucking continent. If you're an African and you're Muslim, be careful. You'll get some fucking Pakistanis spamming flags in your comment section. But, Usman vs. Bilal seems like a pretty perfect 321 co-main. Worst case, I mean, we get like an Umar Nurmagomedov co-main. That's still not terrible, but it would just feel a little bit of a letdown. Like, you still want a big, like, because Aspinall Gunn, there's not that much hype. Like, we're good to see Aspinall, but like that main event's gonna last like a round tops probably. So you want some other substance on that card, and I doubt we're getting another title fight. Anyway, let's move on. So, Umar's got fight news soon, according to Ali Abdullah Sleaze. Yeah, it's probably Song Yadong. Like, if we're thinking rankings-wise, Yarn's about to fight, Sandhagen's got the title fight booked, Merab obviously no. I don't think they do O'Malley, Umar. That would be sick. Like, that would be a good co-main. Like, if we didn't get that what's it called? Bilal Usman co-main that I want, I think an O'Malley, Umar co-main would be very good. I just don't think they do that again. Like, I just don't think they risk sending O'Malley to fucking Abu Dhabi. Because, like, they kind of got away with giving him a bit of a robbery decision the first time. Now it's kind of like, whatever. It would be a big fight, but you don't think that's the fight for O'Malley right now. So, Song Yadong specifically was, like, gonna fight on the China card. And then they took him off that. Like, they just... like, Font might have said no, and then they're like, alright, whatever, let's just get you off that. Which leads me to believe it's probably Umar. So 90% chances that would be a feature. Like, Umar Song Yadong is not a pay-per-view co-main event. Umar O'Malley is, but more likely I'd be acceptable with this as a feature fight. And if we're looking at other fights on that card as well, I mean, you're probably looking at a few of the guys fighting this weekend on quick turnarounds-ish. Not even that quick, but like, because what is it? Like, this card's taking place like July 26th or something. So it's basically... August, September, it's basically 3 months, so like, you're probably getting a Shara turnaround, you're probably getting a Said Nurmagomedov turnaround, you're probably getting a fucking Ibo Aslan turnaround, you're probably getting some of these guys turning around, you know, maybe an Almabayev or some shit like that, but, yeah, this is the fight to make as well on that card. This would be sick. By the way, I'd pick Song Yadong to win this in a 3-rounder. Just a hot take, maybe. Anyway, that is the fight to make. These are all the other fights to make. This is how the UFC rounds out their schedule. Because, like, I don't know what I'm going to title this video yet. I might title it, like, saving all these UFC cards. These don't really need to be, like, saved. Some of them do. The Noche card's dismal. Some of these don't need to be saved. They need to just be rounded out and, like, guaranteed solidness, you know. So yeah, let me know in the comments what fights you want to see on these cards. How would you round out these pay-per-views and fight nights? And yeah, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. and goodbye, fucking bonne notte. Bonne nuit.